Air traffic control, it's basically a giant video game, except you're not allowed to lose that video game.
I mean, there's definitely personality types that aren't meant to be air traffic controllers.
If we start to get lax on any of the rules or we forget something, you know, people's lives are, I know it sounds kind of corny, but people's lives are at stake, you know, if you don't apply the right training and the right rules.
I feel like as long as you have the right temperament, like if you get too nervous and you like ping, air traffic is not for you, for sure.
It's a very challenging thing. It's a lot of studying and it's very hard work, but it is very rewarding and you learn a lot. Highly recommend it to anyone looking to join or to get into ATC. Typical day is 8 hours. We go for 10 if it's an extended flying window. So we have 5 positions. You have the supervisor who's in charge of the entire tower cab, oversees all the operations, and is ultimately responsible for every single thing that happens in the tower. And you have CT, who's the coordinator who assists in getting coordination with different facilities for departures and arrivals. And then you have your local controller. He's in charge of people landing and departing. He's controlling all the planes in the sky and all the planes on the ground. They're getting ready to take off. Then you have the ground controller. They're in charge of texting me to and from the runway, whether they land or depart, controlling any vehicles that are on or around the airfield. You have flight data, who's kind of the tower secretary, so they will do any coordination with any outside facilities or facilities that are around the airfields like fire department and base operations. There's also a soft position, a supervisor of flying. He's mainly there to aid the F-22s while they're flying.
Raptors are the only ones who have a SOF, a supervisor of flight, that's up in the tower. For the SOF's main job is to give you the status of the field. So using mainly the regulations, and a lot of it's, almost all of it is based off of the weather. So ultimately we can say, hey, the field is open, but maybe there's some fog that's sitting over the hill that, yeah, legally we're allowed to take off, but hey, there's fog over there, so I don't know what you guys want to do necessarily based off of the squadron's priorities. They may or may not want to take off.
A lot of people think of air traffic controllers as the guys with the sticks out there. But, you know, we're in the tower and we're trying to make sure that everyone's safe.
Transponder 120, English approach on guard, change reference D126.4.
Phraseology, it's just like standard phrases that we use to help with like brevity. Track 30, runway 06, wind 350 at 8, cleared for takeoff. Because if you're out there and you're trying to explain something and you're too wordy, it's just not going to work, especially if it's busy. So we just have these set phrases.
Raptor 01, traffic, heavy C-17, 6 mile final for runway 6, runway 34, wind estimated calm, cleared for takeoff, change to departure.
Basically it's for brevity. It's just, you say something, the pilot's going to expect that, they know what it is. It's not too hard because you do it all the time. Like you always say that, always say clear to land, always say clear for takeoff. You'll just always use the same phraseology. So if you want to do it, you can do it. I feel like, as long as you have the right temperament. I think it comes down to nerves. That's where I see people fail.
Favorite thing about ATC would be just the daily operations, being up in the tower cab. You know, you get a good team, because in the end, you know, it's individual positions, but you have to work up there as a team. If you don't have good teammates working around you, good coworkers working around you, and a good facility to support your decisions and stuff, then it can go downhill. So the teamwork that goes on up there when it's a high stress job and the team comes together to make it work.